Glad you're with me again. Hope these are helpful. And today I'm going to talk about getting a bank loan. Now, if you have listened to some of these, you're going to hear me talk about don't get a loan, don't borrow money. Well, that, if you look and listen closely, is on your first business. I'm an advocate. You must gain some experience. You don't want a bank loan to start with. You want to gain some experience in a small step. And the best way to keep it small is it's all of your own money. If you lose it, you don't have to pay somebody else. So that's a given, but we're now at the point you've got some experience, and let's talk about what a bank wants. Well, the bank, first of all, they're going to want that you have some, not just business experience, they want to know in this business your last 3-year financial statements. That's income statement and balance sheet for sure. And they're going to want to see your tax returns, and those better match. They do have to match in the meaning that you can't show a profit on your financial statements and then report to the IRS that you lost money. There's ways that they can compare those and make sure everything's on the up and up. So that's a given. They're going to want a business plan. It's going to have to be written and short. They're not going to be interested in loaning you money just because you came in, just because you told them about what you're doing. You're going to have a business plan that's readable, short, makes sense. That's its own topic. When you're borrowing money, you should just borrow for critical things. Don't borrow money for unnecessary things. I mean, that makes sense, but some people do it. So I suggest you only borrow money for fixed assets. You actually refrain from borrowing money for operating expense. Wow, never thought of that. Yeah, that's my suggestion, that you only borrow money for fixed assets. Those things that are going to make you money or be at least sellable if you don't make your loan payment. The bank looks at that. They're going to look at the equipment. I'm here at a machine shop. I have about 35, 40 machines, most of them CNC, most of them costing between $250,000 and $400,000. And I have some loans on those. Those are a 5-year payout. When I pay them off at the end of that 5 years, I own them. And I have a revelation of buying new equipment every year. That's just the way I do business. But on your loans, you would want something that you are buying. And another way to look at it is don't ever borrow money for something that goes down in value, something that depreciates in year to year and year, unless it's something that's generating you revenue far above what your note payment's going to be. I happen to be one that's not a car payment person. I have not had a car payment in all of my adult life other than 3 little payments, like 3 months. That's all it was. And so I can tell you it's a big relief not to have a $300 to $500 car payment every month. It makes your other cash go a lot farther. Now, just because you don't get a loan, don't quit. I happened to get a loan for this when I started because I had experience in business. It wasn't my first rodeo. It wasn't my first business. And I applied in 4 different banks. I did everything that I could introduce myself. And guess what? 3 out of the 4 said no. Well, the one that said yes, they knew me. They had some experience with it. They knew who I was. They knew my abilities. And yes, there was other things that allowed them to step in and do that. But there was, don't be afraid of a no. And don't walk into the bank just cold. Don't just walk in without knowing who you're talking to, a little bit about them. Look ahead of time and get with them and let them know who you are. Don't drive through the drive-through window every time. Go in, wave at the loan officer, go up and talk to them. Just tell them something like, hey, I might in the future need a loan. I'm just kind of getting to know you a little bit. I don't have to tell them a lot. Just let them know who you are. Let them come in and see who you are. And then when you're in those sets, don't overdress, don't underdress. They're not interested in you being mud on your shoes with concrete. They want to know whether you can pay the loan back. They're not interested if you come in a 3-piece suit. That's out of style. Just be natural. And if you get to the point that the bank says no, please don't go borrow money from your family, your mother, your aunt, your grandpa. Unless he's just independently wealthy and he wants to kiss some money goodbye, that's probably what's going to happen. And at some point, you're going to have Thanksgiving, and that food is not going to be very good when you owe the cook's husband, $300,000. You're probably not going to show up. So my my suggestion is separate your personal affairs from your business affairs on the loan. When you got a checking account, don't mix your checks together. Don't take money out of your company without it being a legitimate expense. Pay yourself a legitimate salary for what you're doing, and then live on your household budget just like everybody else. And last but not least, make sure you understand that your banker's your friend. He's not your enemy. I've heard people almost cuss at their banker behind their face because they wouldn't give them a loan. Well, guess what? They were probably saving your tail. They probably knew that this was overextending. My banker several times in my early days said, you know, I can't loan it. You're just going to have to figure out how to tighten your belt. Well, I did, and I made it. I hope you appreciate this. I hope you learn from it, and thanks for being with me.